Oh, it
Sounds
does.
good.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. All right. So, welcome, Mayapack community. Sorry for the technical glitch over here. Just wanted to welcome everybody to our special meeting tonight to discuss procedures on working through public resident comment during this pandemic. What I'd like to do right now is I'd like to please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
November 12th, 2020. Could I get a motion to open?
So moved.
Thank you, Mike. Second?
Second.
Ray, thank you. Adam, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so good evening again. We're here to discuss the how we proceed with our numbers starting to go up all around us seemingly, and Anthony and his team doing one hell of a job keeping us in school and working through all the obstacles that seem to come up on a daily basis now. It doesn't look like we'll be able to get into a public setting, at least not for this month. So we're here tonight to discuss how we go about getting resident comments in. As you know, I guess what I'd like to do right now is I would like to remind the community, as in the past, please email our district clerk, Melody LaRocca, at larocca@mahopac.org if you would like to share comments or questions during our public board meetings that occur once a month. Having said that, we are here to review the process of our public meeting procedures during this pandemic. So what we have is we've got a couple of ideas on just how we can live within the spirit of our policy and also get the public involved with public comments. As I've said in the past, obviously even before we get to public comments, we would encourage everybody to continue to go through the proper chain of command, the proper chairs, if you will. If you have an issue, teacher. If it's not resolved there, principal. If it's not resolved there, go to our superintendent. And then obviously, then you're, obviously to exhaust everything, you're going to come over to see us and share share your comment with us. So, with that said, I wanted to offer up a couple of suggestions that we could talk about right now. I know that we have the opportunity, or we can Zoom some folks in. So what I'd like to do now is just discuss the procedure on which we can do that. And obviously, I think the procedure would be that we would contact for a comment. We would contact, as we always do, our district clerk, Melody LaRocca. With that, then you would have your name, your address, your email address, and then what we would be doing is what you're planning on speaking on. We have a 3-minute limit, and then what our district clerk would be doing, Melody would be sending a link to the person that wishes to speak, to the school board and address the school board in resident comment section of our meetings, and then so we would would send the link over, okay? And I know Melody's she's been researching the process. We've looked at what other districts are doing, and a lot of districts have suspended comments, but we certainly don't want to do that. But we do want to want to hear from the public and hear from the individuals themselves, rather than me taking emails and kind of paraphrasing and kind of shortening things up for the sake of time. So with that said, Melody, did I kind of get the gist of what we're thinking about there? I mean, did that sound pretty good? Can you hear me okay?
You're coming through just fine.
Okay, good. Okay, so did I thought that we're looking at what other districts have been doing to try to circumvent. So I mean, I do think that there's a good opportunity to be able to do this, but the flow of information, the flow of information has to go through the district clerk. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want things forwarded, and it really has to be onto our district clerk, onto Melody's plate. So I would encourage all our board members that if there are questions and comments from the community, to make sure that they get their way to our district clerk, and or myself or our superintendent of schools. So I think that's what that's what we're looking to do, and I would like to do right now is open it up for a little discussion for our board members right now. So if you wouldn't mind, why don't you just we can start it off. I'm looking right up over here, and who am I looking at? How about Senior Trustee Lucy Musafir? Lucy, would you have a comment?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I think this is a great way to have our community come in and communicate. Unfortunately, with the coronavirus, since we weren't able to meet in person, it was getting challenging. I think since we worked out the bugs with the technology, and hopefully that we can make this work this way. Keep in mind the same policy that exists when we're in person, that it is right now 30 minutes. Each person is given the 3 minutes. And also know that it doesn't become an engagement, it's more comments, and then we take the comments, and then it's determined, how we, who's responsible for looking into what the matter may be. So those were my few comments about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Appreciate that. Okay, next up, how about I see Ray in front of me over here. Ray, you want to unmute yourself and come on in and join us?
Sure, I think it's a great idea. Number one, I think people should read their own letters. This way they can get the intent they're trying to get across. When someone else reads their letters, it might not come across the way they wanted to present it. I'm all for this type of venue.
Yeah, I think it's a good, a good way to keep the community connected, even, even with the, in this pandemic. I mean, every day seems to be a challenge now. Adam Savino, my vice president. Adam, jump in. Unmute yourself and let's go.
Good evening, everyone. Just to mirror what everybody else said, while it's not ideal, of course we like to meet in person, but right now it's not possible. This is probably the most streamlined opportunity we can to have the public comments. Please bear in mind, it's uncharted land right now. There's going to be some challenges. There may be some hiccups. So please, as President Mongan said, send your comments and such to the district clerk. The policy is, as Trustee Musafir said, as it was before, as far as guidelines for the comments, and we look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. It's hopefully soon we can resume normal meetings, but until then, we'll make the best of what we have. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to hear from you all.
Great, Adam. Thanks. Your lips to God's ears. Mike Simone. Mike, unmute yourself. Come on in.
Okay. And Mr. President, thank you for hosting this and having this. I'm very much in favor of having the residents comment on whatever at the end of the meeting, as we always did before. My only question, and I have nothing about that, it was that you had brought up there were other options. Are there other options on the table, or is this the option we are choosing? And just, I know that you had said other options. That's why I asked.
Mike, I think when we're talking about other options, we were talking about just like suspending comments, which I don't think we want to, we certainly don't want to do that.
Okay, I'm very much in favor, definitely hearing from our residents. Yes.
Yeah, I think, Mike, I think it's a win because, we really, listen, for me to sit there and read somebody's emails is one thing, or paraphrase or kind of shorten things up, but to hear from people speaking from their heart, I think to me, it seems like it's more powerful. So I appreciate the comment, Mike. Thanks. Appreciate that. Okay. How about Larry? Would you like to unmute yourself and come in?
I'm in favor of any method that we can use that will allow, people in the community to express their views. So I'm fine with that.
Very good. Thanks. Thank you very much, Larry. Let's see, who else? Tanner. I know Tanner's there. Tan, come on in. Unmute yourself. Come on in.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. And yeah, I am definitely in favor of a process where we can actually hear our residents' voices. We can hear them speak from their hearts. Like you said, I'm totally in favor of this. I think it's very important that even in this virtual way, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I strongly believe the school board should be the ears of the community when we work with the district administration, because that's why we run in elections. We are the direct representatives of the people. So I think it's very important that what the public has to say about the school in general and where their taxes are going, we always need to hear that out. So I'm definitely in favor of bringing them on and hearing their voices and seeing them. I would say if we are sticking to the current policy when it comes to the 3-minute limit, I understand that. I would also point out another part of the policy that does say, if no one else is wishing to be heard, you can stand up for another 3 minutes. So I'm wondering if that will be implemented. And just a side note, I want to thank you, by the way, for this meeting in general, because I do know that the community is really going to appreciate hearing their individual trustees speak their minds. I think this is great transparency, and this is how it should be for a lot of our public deliberations. So thank you, Mr. President.
Well, Dan, you know how difficult it's been with the pandemic and just trying to deal with things in just a new way. I mean, I can sit there and tell you for the last 5 years, we've enjoyed, hosting public comments at the end of our, at the end of the meeting. So, it's just a different way of doing it, getting, having to, vet through who wants to speak, having to get, emails, having to get stuff thrown into spam, having to get things out. So I appreciate. I think this is a good. It's kind of a we call it an interactive virtual meeting, if you will. And I do think that's. But I think the policy 1512 does cover that, which is what the elements of that are good. And yeah, we can extend whatever the board feels at those at that time. I mean. The biggest thing for me though, again, and this goes to everybody, is let's just make sure that we're still following some type of a chain of command. You still really, because what's going to end up happening is it's going to, we'll go back to like a teacher, or it'll go back. So make sure that you don't like jump to the end and just come over and make sure that you've spoken to your teacher, you've spoken to your principals, you've spoken to, to try to get resolution. And then obviously it's a good opportunity for us to, to hear, some of the comments. So that's awesome. That's awesome. But interactive.
Can I just, sorry.
No, sorry.
I was just going to ask, can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
In terms of the addresses, well, first of all, I've never seen that in 1512 where you actually have to say your address. But if we are, I don't think you have to if it doesn't say it, but if we are going with that, the address will only be sent to District Clerk Melody LaRocca, right? You don't have to say it when you get on the Zoom. You have to send it beforehand.
I think you can. I kind of froze there on my screen. You froze a little bit, but that is something that we've. It is resident comments, and just like they do at the town board, we kind of follow the same thing where you state your name and your address. It's just for the record. So I think I'd like to keep it. I think that's probably a good practice. It's what we've always done. So I think by adding this component, the virtual component, I think it helps. It just helps the community reach the school board in a way that really hasn't they haven't been able to do that in the past. So.
Do you think we could have it where they send the address via email, it's verified, but they don't actually have to say it live on air? Do you think we could do it that way?
No, but I mean, that's what they do at the town hall, Tanner. They get up to the mic and they speak and they say they're residents. So I don't know if we need to change that. Really, certainly nothing to hide from from the community there. So.
I'm aware what the town board does, but we're the school board, so we can make our own rules. I do think we shouldn't hide anything in our field, but in terms of someone's personal address, I'm okay with verifying that privately, but I don't know how the other members of the board feel, but I don't think we should make our residents say it out loud on the Zoom. But that's just my opinion.
Let me just say something. I recall past practice was people did come up and say name and address. Larry, can you comment on that? You were on the board for many years also. Didn't they give name and address?
Yeah, they always gave name and address.
Past practice.
Sometimes they didn't give the number.
Right, exactly.
The street that they were on. I would be okay if they said, I live in the Fulmer Road district. I live in the Lakeview district. Already having given Melody their address, then, that would be a way to solve it, is just, to be a little bit more general than, I don't know why anybody would be afraid of giving their address, but, they could just give the district that they're in, as long as beforehand they have given Melody their address so that it can be checked. That's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm just putting my opinion out there as well. So thank you, Mr. President.
Appreciate that, Tanner. Thank you so much. Ben, unmute yourself. Come on in, guy.
Yes, sir. Hi, Mayor Pack. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm going to agree. I think this is great. We definitely want to hear from the people. It's very challenging to hear from anybody these days. I welcome the opportunity as long as people understand what this forum is for. And I'm just going to reiterate what you said, President Mongan, is just, you're not going to be able to resolve a specific problem with your child at this level, and we won't be able to comment on it, and that may be frustrating. However, come in, be prepared, get your 3 minutes, and have your time, be ready, prepared with a good question or comment, and we're all ears. I think part of the reason we joined the board is to listen. And unfortunately, it's very, very difficult for us to do that when we can't, get together and more than a few people. So yes, I definitely think this is a great idea, and I appreciate you guys doing the legwork on it. Thanks.
Very good. Very good. How about we can finish? I think we've got everybody. Can we finish up with our superintendent of schools, Mr. Anthony DiCarlo? Anthony.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think it's fine. I think Melody has done a lot of research. I think we'll spell it out. If the board decides the direction that this is what we're going to go with, we'll put something on our website. We'll make sure it's there and what the protocols are. I think to your point, whoever emails Melody will give us their address, and then that night, they could say, wherever they're from as far as a regional area goes, whatever their elementary school may be, and then we can move forward from there. I think that's very important. So I think it's great. Who knows how long this is going to be? I don't think it's going to be a month, everybody, trustees. I don't think this is going away in a month. I think the spike is going to be something that we have to deal with over the winter. And then once we get past that, hopefully, things will hopefully change when we get back outside. But I think it's a great step.
Okay. So we've gone around, and I appreciate everybody's attention, and certainly Mr. DiCarlo. I know what you've had to go through the last the last several weeks, and then this is probably one of the more difficult weeks that that we can probably remember. But with that said, if everybody's okay, what I'd like to do is I'd like to entertain just a vote on what we outlined tonight, and if that was going to be acceptable to the school board moving forward. So, could we get a vote on?
Well, I would make a motion, that we adopt, the virtual questioning of the board or, the 30 minutes at the end. I just make a motion to do what we had just, and Melody, you could write it up.
Okay.
I'll second that
Thank you, Tanner.
proudly. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Everybody, all in favor of that? All in favor of Larry and Tanner? We're good?
Aye.
Very good. Good work, guys. Thanks. I appreciate it very much. Very, very much. Okay. With that, Melody, do you have any questions for us? We're good, right?
So I'm gonna say, with that, we do have a resolution that we just voted on. So in that resolution, that will appear in the minutes is going to be read as follows. It'll be resolved by the Board of Education. This is from what I'm hearing tonight, that virtual meetings conducted during the COVID pandemic and in accordance with Executive Order 2021 shall allow for public participation via electronic technology once name, address, and topic are provided by the community member to the district clerk by 3:30, still the day of the regular meeting, and that policy 1512 would be adhered to.
Very good. Okay. Awesome. Well, as if I could
That was
echo,
just what I said.
yes,
Exactly what Larry said.
Larry, that was verbatim.
Thank you, Melody.
Now, in all seriousness, team, I just wanted to again really thank Anthony. The first, I said to him this afternoon, the first guy through the door always gets bloody. The first guy through the door, and he's been really shouldering quite a bit, and we're really indebted to him for his leadership through this pandemic. But also, you have to have a good right hand, and Melody is a hell of a right hand for our superintendent. So I really appreciate, Melody, your work and your yes, Larry, thanks, your work and what you've done, with juggling the school board and Anthony's secretary. So very, very much appreciated. And what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting, and but also from the board, from everybody on the school board, Anthony's team, Melody, we just want to wish everybody, just let's be safe, let's be smart. Okay, the virus is ticking up all around us. Let's not be that that group. Let's see if we can just persevere and get beyond this thing, so we can hopefully see each other again in the near future. I mean, the way I feel about this whole Zoom and virtual stuff. It's not something that's comfortable. I know it's not comfortable for anybody, but I do appreciate everybody that's on the front line and everybody here tonight. So again, thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm glad that we have a resolution, and Melody, again, Anthony, thank you again for all that you're doing for us, and you and your team. So it's much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
So do I have a motion? Do we have a motion to close?
So moved.
So moved. Ray, second. Second. Thank you, Adam. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, team. Take care.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.